What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how David, just at 18 years old, had a $7,000 month leveraging one simple thing. Okay, he didn't have to go and do a bunch of cold outreach. He didn't have to start any crazy business models. He just had to leverage this one opportunity that nobody's really looking at. So if you guys want to see this actual video, this is just a screenshot from an Instagram reel. Head over to my Instagram. You can see he explains his experience and just how everything went about. But in this video, we're going to break down exactly what he did to get to where he's at today. So like I mentioned, we're going to be breaking down his exact journey from going from zero to $7,000 a month. And this is where it all started. Okay, he had never made a single dollar online. Okay, he was working a part-time job at the time when he first came to me, and he was looking to get out of it because he knew he didn't want to be confined to always having to clock in at a certain location, always having to take your lunch at a certain time. He didn't want to partake in that. Okay, he didn't have any real skills to leverage, even if you wanted to, right? If you wanted to go and actually try and attempt to build a marketing agency or a growth operating business, he couldn't because there was nothing to leverage. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably in a similar situation, right? You probably don't feel too valuable, and that's because you might not be, right? But that doesn't have to mean that you're not going to succeed. It just has to mean you have to start there where you're at, okay? And he also didn't have any real direction to actually get started in the online business space. So he probably saw all of these different avenues like growth operating, building an agency, just a bunch of different fancy, buzzwords that they're using nowadays. But he knew he needed to do something, and those weren't really viable because he didn't have the skills to leverage, right? And this probably represents what he was feeling when we first got started, okay? Move forward a little bit more over here. He knew he needed to make some form of a change, okay? In order for his situation to change, he needed to do something about it. He couldn't just stand around hoping that somebody was going to come knocking on his door wanting to pay him, $500 every single sale, okay? So what did he do? Well, the first thing he did the hardest thing. He invested in his own growth, learned a high value skill to actually leverage that was in demand. So he didn't leverage something that was popular, in 2012, like building an SMMA, right? Even up until now, people are trying to use that buzzword, but they're trying to use a different one. They're trying to use IPGA or growth operating, but it's all the same thing. You still need skill sets to actually make it work. And if you have none, chances are, you have like 0.01% of success. I'm sorry, that's just the truth, okay? So what he invested into his growth, okay? He got a mentor who has done what he's trying to do. So what is he trying to do? He's trying to just go fully remote online. He's trying to make a minimum of at least $5,000 every single month. So he found somebody who already did that. And in this case, it's me, right? And he also surrounded himself with plenty of others who wanted the same thing, who are on the same journey. Because by far, community is always going to outweigh doing things on your own, okay? It's just the truth, right? If you have a pack of wolves behind you, you're going to get a lot more meat to eat from, okay? He also made sure he was held accountable to guarantee success. He didn't just hope to invest into something, maybe learn a couple of things here and there. No, he made sure he found somebody who was going to make sure they check in with him every single week. In this case, I was the individual, right? That's what I do with all of my students who partake in the First Class Setter program, is I check in with them every single week, multiple times on end, to make sure they're on the path towards that $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, okay? And so he got a little bit less sad, right? A little more hopeful, I guess you can say. Now, moving on to the next portion of this, it was really as simple as putting his head down and getting to work. That's all that needed to happen, okay? We helped them and trained them up on finding the high ticket setting role that has huge upside potential, right? Where we can go in, make a huge impact, but also make a ton of money on the flip side. And then from there, he consistently looked for feedback on what he was doing right and what he was doing wrong. And a lot of people undermine how valuable this asset is. Because if you don't know what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong, it's just extremely impossible to take things in the right direction and actually see good, tangible results. And that is what separates somebody from your average setter who has to cold call a bunch of people versus somebody who has a role where they have leads coming to them and all they have to do is ask maybe 4 or 5 questions, get them on a call, and that's literally all they have to do, okay? And then again, he just implemented those changes almost immediately, and he was going full savage mode, right? And the thing that made all of the difference, hands down, comes to staying consistent and pushing, keeping his foot on the gas. And this is where I do commend David. I'm super proud of how far he's come, because at the very beginning, maybe a month, 2 months in on his role, he made $3K. didn't take his foot off the gas. He then made $5K and he didn't stop there. He wasn't ready to settle for that. He worked hard, he pushed himself, and this is what came from it. This is what came from gathering the feedback, gathering help from myself, from everybody in the community, from the person he was working alongside, and then almost immediately implementing it. This is what transpired, okay? You see the screenshot here. This is the post that he made in the win section. End of July, finished hitting just over $7,000. This has been my biggest month so far, as I did 3x the amount I did in June. Things change so fast when you're making money online, so keep pushing and you'll see that reward soon. And you see he's getting a little competitive with me. He thinks he might be breaking my record of 11,000, which honestly, I wouldn't even be upset at the fact if he did that, because it's a really close number between 7 and 11. I have no doubt he's most likely going to get there. So I'm extremely proud. And yeah, I wanted to make this video to highlight what actually matters. Okay, what actually matters within this journey. Realistically, you just need to identify that you need help. You need help learning something, becoming valuable. Then you're going to need help actually refining everything, right? Refining the sword, making sure it's always sharp. And your tool set is where it needs to be for you to make that $7,000 a month. And then from there, you just need accountability, and you need the willingness to push yourself and actually achieve what it is that you set out for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to be like David and you want to work from anywhere in the world, as long as you have this, you want to have the opportunity to make $7,000 a month and past that, you want to learn a skill that's going to give you access to a high level network that will essentially take care of you for the rest of your online business career. And you want to leave your 9 to 5 in the past, never have to clock back in, never have to be told when to go eat your lunch, when to come back. Then I invite you to book in a call. Check the description down below. There's going to be a link there. It'll give you access to my personal calendar where you can come on a call. We can essentially talk about what the game plan is going to look like for you and how you can replicate David's success. With that being said, I'm going to be limiting the amount of people I'm going to be enrolling into the First Class Setup program to only 3 people for the remainder of August. So if you've been looking for a sign to actually take action, bet on yourself, and learn a high valuable skill that's going to give you everything I gave David, then consider booking a call down below. If you'd like, you can also send me a message over on Instagram. I personally respond to all the messages. So in case you have any questions about what it's like to be in the First Class Setup program, I'm more than happy to answer them. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one.